There have actually been 3 different variants of Ahsoka's Rebels Legacy lightsabers. The original version came in the gray Legacy clamshell case with a white fulcrum symbol on the front, and was notable for having black inlays and silver handles on both hilts. They looked really nice, but weren't entirely accurate, as in Rebels, the inlay was black on the main hilt and light gray on the Shoto hilt. Eventually, those were retired and replaced with a set that came in the same box, but this time they had a gray inlay and silver handle on the main hilt, and a white inlay and darker gray handle on the Shoto hilt. So still not quite the right colors, but at least mixing it up so they're darker on the main and lighter on the Shoto. Some collectors have bought both sets so they can display the black inlay main hilt along the white inlay Shoto hilt, but that's an expensive hoop to have to jump through and still doesn't give you the right mix of inlay colors. Finally, there was the limited edition box set, which came in this beautifully painted box with a built-in music player. Only 6,000 were made and they sold out quickly. The hilts included were exactly the same as the gray inlay crate version. Today, the black inlay go for $400 to $500 on the open market, the gray inlay for $350 to $400, and the limited edition box set goes for about $600 to $900. These prices may change, of course, now that the V2 Legacy lightsabers have been released at $350. But we'll talk about those in the next video. The biggest complaint most people have on these Legacy Ahsoka hilts is how chunky they are. The length of the sabers is about right, at 13 3/4 inches and 9 inches for the Shoto. And even the width of the grip isn't too big, at 46 millimeters across, compared to 42 millimeters for the nicer custom options. It's the thickness and the weight where they get ridiculous. At 40 millimeters thick, the grips are almost square, when they're supposed to be almost twice as wide as they are thick. Comparing the 1.15 to 1 proportion of the Legacy set to the 1.75 to 1 of the KR Throne Hunters, and you can clearly see the difference. And at 35 and 31 ounces, they're more than twice as heavy as any other custom market version of her sabers, and 4 times heavier than Disney's plastic toy version. As a cosplayer, you do not want to be carrying these around on your belt all day. Seeing Ashley Eckstein try to handle the Legacy set when they were first announced at Star Wars Celebration in 1999 tells you everything you need to know. It was wonderful to finally have a set of these on the market at the time, but the thickness and weight have always been issues. How well they fix this in the V2 Legacy version of her hilts is one of the things people are most curious about. I should have a side-by-side review of those available in the next few days, so stay tuned for that. One great thing about these sabers, however, is the fact that they use the same universal blade system as the Legacy and Savvy's lightsabers. This makes it incredibly easy to attach the blade. You just slide it in, twist, and you're ready to go. It makes it easy to choose for yourself which size blade you want for your saber. And it's even cheaper if you already have the blades in your collection from your other Legacy lightsabers. Another benefit is just the simplicity of the electronics. There's just one button to turn it on, and the same button to turn it back off. The blades are always white, and they always have the same sound font, which mimics Ahsoka sabers in the show. There's no steep learning curve, no fancy sandboard to program, just very simple and straightforward, which is exactly what you want for a product marketed towards the mainstream consumer. The blades aren't quite as fancy as some of the NeoPixel options you'll see in the market. They do have the LEDs embedded inside the blade, but on these sabers they light up in 4 blocks, rather than each individual LED at a time like the NeoPixel ones do. So you can see it expand, and you can see it retract, but it does it in those blocks, as opposed to the NeoPixel that do it each LED at a time for a much smoother expansion and retraction. But you're also paying half as much for it, so it's still overall a pretty great illusion for the price. Overall, these sabers have always held a really weird place in the market. It was amazing to see Ahsoka's Rebel sabers finally included in the Legacy line, but also disappointing to see how many compromises were made in size and weight just to fit that universal blade. It will be very, very interesting to see how much of this has been improved in the newest version of the Legacy Ahsoka sabers, which were just released. I have a set of those new ones on their way to me right now, so UPS willing, I should have a side-by-side comparison of those out in the next few days. That's going to be really exciting to see. But no matter what you think of these hilts themselves, those limited edition boxes are absolutely gorgeous, especially if you're lucky enough to get them signed. Stay tuned for the side-by-side comparison, and may the Force be with you.